right now at 6, a utility company works to replace lead water pipes across Missouri.
And we've got a bit of a chilly start out there this morning, but we are going to be warmer today than we have been the last couple of days. Details on your forecast get you out the door coming up.
Plus, crews are changing the signage on the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh, now with a new name.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday, halfway through this work week. For many of you, it's a very short work week, or just at least a shorter work week. Maybe not a very short work week, but it's still
good
shorter.
Enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's good enough, and hopefully it's been a good one for you. The last couple of days were pretty nice. Sunday was a bit on the toasty side, but it's not been too bad. And even though we've got a cooler start for many of us this morning, it's going to be warmer today than we have been the last couple of days. Let's start outside, and you don't even have to go outside. We have cameras out there that will show you what the outdoors look like, and right now they look fairly dark because the sun hasn't come up yet, and that's why they look dark. This is our camera downtown Pittsburgh, looking pretty good otherwise, and we take a look from 7th and Range Line. Our camera located there, looking back to the northwest. We've got a pretty nice start to the day. There are a couple of clouds out there this morning, but those will be gone if they aren't already. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line, also looking pretty good. Future Track has absolutely nothing to show us other than the warmer weather that we're going to experience today. Some of you will have a southerly breeze as well. Others will have an easterly breeze, and that's what's going to bring in some of that warmer air as well. Our highs today will be hotter than where they have been, but they'll be seasonably hot, so it could be worse. Unfortunately, it's going to get worse. So we're looking at highs today into the upper 80s across the area, even though, again, we have this cool start. How cool is it? Well, it's 60 in Joplin now, 56 in Pittsburgh. Earlier, Stockton was the cool spot. We'll see if they still hold on to that. And so far, it certainly looks like they are. 53 in Stockton right now. A number of upper 50s across the region. We've got some low 60s mixed in as well. So again, even though this is a much cooler start for many of us today, we're going to be warmer. This morning, kids getting on the bus, upper 50s, some low 60s, sunny skies, east breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Sunny skies when that bus brings them home. There's some of that warmer weather, 86 when that bus returns. And as we head through today, the day today, oh my, it's going to be a long day. Sunny skies out there, upper 80s across the region. We're not done with the roller coaster yet. Sunday we went up. Monday, Tuesday we're back down. Today and tomorrow we're back up. Then we're going to go back down. And then next week we're going to climb to the peak of this roller coaster. We'll tell you how hot it's going to get in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, Mercy has officially taken ownership of the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh and has begun changing the signage at the hospital. The change comes after a months-long transferring process after Mercy and Ascension entered into an agreement in February of this year. The transaction was finalized on September 1st. Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is the third Mercy Hospital in Kansas, joining Mercy Hospital Columbus and Mercy Specialty Hospital Southeast Kansas in Galena. A ribbon cutting at Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is set for next Wednesday, September 11th. The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas wants you to know walk-in mammography screenings are now available. The screenings are available at its Fort Scott and Pittsburgh South locations. Now, the clinics will accept walk-ins Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. The clinic offers other financial assistance programs, ensuring every woman who needs a mammogram screening will receive one regardless of income or insurance status. Well, several Southwest Missouri school districts have teamed up to encourage a community-wide focus on strong student attendance for the upcoming year. The campaign, which kicks off this month, aims to highlight the value and benefits of attending school each day. In 2019, just over 12% of Missouri students were chronically absent. That number almost doubled during the 2022-23 school year. To learn more about the campaign, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, the Miami City Council last night discussed the future of Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. During last night's City Council meeting, officials discussed the chief's position during an executive closed session. As it was not open to the public, the details of the session are not known. We reached out to the city's communication manager for comment, but have not yet heard back. In July, the chief was placed on paid administrative leave following allegations of misconduct. The city has not provided details about the allegations, simply saying they are personnel matters. However, they have hired an independent investigator to look into the matter. Missouri American Water is working to replace lead pipes across the state, including in Joplin homes. This comes as the EPA requires all U.S. water companies to inventory their local service lines. The company will replace the entire service line, including customer-owned portions, free of charge if it contains lead or galvanized steel. Some Joplin residents received a letter asking them to help determine the material of their home's pipes. Missouri American Water has already been replacing water lines across Joplin and more than 10,000 across the state. But staff hope to have an inventory of homes that still need it by October.
It gives us a chance to, I think, maybe give some customers additional peace of mind, maybe add, resale value to their home if the service line has been replaced and updated. And it's just something that we take great pride in.
Residents who believe they may have lead pipes are encouraged to reach out to Missouri American Water through their website. There you can self-report your pipes or ask for an inspection to see if your pipes contain lead. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The SEC fined 6 major credit rating agencies over failure to keep electronic recordings. Plus, the Justice Department unsealed federal charges against Hamas leaders for the killings of at least 43 Americans. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. 6 major credit rating organizations are facing fines by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission over their failure to keep electronic records of communications. The fines vary by firm, but total $49 million. Moody's Investor Services and S&P Global Ratings got slapped with the heftiest civil penalties, $20 million each. Fitch Ratings was fined $8 million. AM Best Rating Services was fined $1 million. HR Ratings de Mexico was fined $250,000, and Demotech was fined $100,000. All the firms admitted to the facts in the SEC orders and agreed to pay the fines. 4 of the firms must also hire a compliance consultant. All 7 states have filed a lawsuit to block the Biden administration's new student loan forgiveness plan, expected to roll out this fall. The group of Republican-led states claims they have obtained documents showing the Department of Education intends to provide some of the student debt relief as early as this week. The lawsuit claims that would violate a statute prohibiting the education secretary from implementing a rule sooner than 60 days after its publication. Biden's SAVE plan is currently blocked while litigation plays out at the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. The Department of Education declined to comment. Well, nearly 11 months after the tragic October 7th attack in Israel, the Justice Department announced charges against senior Hamas leaders for killing more than 40 Americans. It comes as protesters took to the streets in Israel again to demand a deal that releases the remaining hostages. Jared Hill has more from New York.
These actions will not be our last.
Attorney General Merrick Garland with a stern warning after the Justice Department unsealed federal charges against 6 senior Hamas leaders for the killings of at least 43 Americans on October 7th. Garland says the department is also investigating the deaths of Americans, including 23-year-old Hirsch Goldberg Poland, as acts of terrorism. The 23-year-old was one of the 6 hostages found killed in Gaza over the weekend.
We will pursue the terrorists responsible for murdering Americans and those who illegally provide them with material support for the rest of their lives.
The DOJ says Yahya Sinwar and a group of other senior Hamas figures financed, directed, and oversaw a campaign to murder U.S. citizens and endanger U.S. national security, alleging this group orchestrated the killings and kidnappings. 3 of the defendants are dead. The others haven't been captured. In Tel Aviv, another round of massive protests as thousands demand Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agree to a ceasefire deal to free remaining hostages. Netanyahu, defying the outcry, points to the Philadelphia corridor as a key sticking point. He says Israel must keep troops in the narrow strip between Gaza and Egypt to prevent Hamas from smuggling in weapons. Yesterday, Netanyahu's political rival, former Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz, pushed back, saying the corridor isn't an existential threat and the hostages must be returned, even at a heavy price. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The Biden administration reiterated yesterday that it's working around the clock with allies to help reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal. The White House also says that administration officials are in constant contact with Israeli counterparts. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. No precipitation out there, just a few clouds in our southern counties, but those will be on their way out before too much longer. Ahead of a sunny and warmer day out there. We'll look at that forecast when we come back.
Well, the couple recently got married in one of their favorite places on top of the highest mountain in Maine. Grace Bradley got the chance to sit down and hear the couple's 5,000-foot tall love story.
And that's where I first really fell in love with her, was on that mountain.
Now, by the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church and by the state of Maine, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss and bride.
When hiker John Stoyak's proposal at the peak of Katahdin was rained out in June of 2023, him and his then fiancée Juniper's sights were set on the summit for their wedding day, no matter the climb.
It was looking bad all week, and I was getting discouraged, and I was just praying to my parents above for good weather.
Even though we were caught in like a mist of a rain cloud, it was still just epic to be there and do it exactly where we wanted to, the way we wanted to.
Forgoing a traditional wedding venue, the Stoyaks forged their own path to begin their shared life with a shared love, hiking.
It's just something we love. We hike on a weekly basis everywhere.
It's like our church, basically.
Yeah, you earn that feeling afterwards is just so unreal. And to share that with her and then to get married in a place like that is just, for us, it's truly,
do what you want to do. Don't do what everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
what everyone wants you to do, or have your traditional wedding.
And it's
a lot cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. So we can go there for our anniversary now every year.
Every year.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got some clouds off to the south there. You can see from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. We will have sunny skies today, warmer weather on the way. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:20 on this Wednesday morning, and we've got a pretty chilly start out there this morning. We'll look at temperatures in just a moment, but it's actually going to be warmer today than what it has been the last couple of days across the area, again, excluding Sunday. Sunday was uncalled for, but unfortunately, it's going to get hotter as we head into next week. So got to really enjoy the next few days as much as we can. Sunny skies today. Temperatures are going to be hotter, but seasonably hot as we go into the upper 80s across the area. And we'll have ample moon tonight. I don't know where I told everyone earlier I slept 3 hours last night. Stop. You're not making it any better, Elise. I'm sorry. Look, sometimes I can function on 3 hours of sleep. Other times I can't. This is one of those times I can't. I think Elise needs to leave the studio. She's not making it any better. We're going to have clear skies tonight, ample sunshine today, As we go into our Thursday, we'll have partly cloudy skies and an opportunity for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Most of us will remain dry, but we'll be a little hotter tomorrow, getting closer to 90. Partly cloudy skies Thursday night into Friday, and maybe another brief round of isolated showers or thunderstorms. And temperatures actually a little cooler on our Friday. Take a look at noon, low to mid 70s out there, and we won't warm up nearly as much as we are today and tomorrow. All right, let's get through the rest of this before something else happens. 60 in Joplin right now. Skies are clear, wind is calm. And as we look at temperatures around the area, we got a lot more 50s out there. We've got Stockton almost in the 40s this morning. Fort Scott right behind. So some low, mid, upper 50s and some low 60s out there to get our day started. So not a bad start. In fact, downright chilly because technically we're still in summer. Clear skies, again, with the sunshine, will warm up a little faster, upper 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Looking at those highs into the upper 80s. Sunny east breeze, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll continue with clear skies through the evening, low 70s by 10, overnight lows, low to mid 60s out there. And then again, a little closer to 90 tomorrow. Then we're back to the low to mid 80s on Friday. How do I still have a minute? Oh boy, I thought I just derailed this entirely. Low to mid 80s for our Friday, low 80s, maybe even some upper Saturdays. I cannot do this. I'm getting there. All right, upper 70s, low 80s, Saturday and Sunday. I've got to get out of here. We're going to have overnight lows into the 50s as we head into the weekend. Back to normal Tuesday, showers possible Monday, Thursday, and then the summer heat returns, low to mid 90s in the second half of next week. For heaven's sake, Elise, please take it now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. A new study finds sports-related concussions are not associated with long-term cognitive risks for non-professional athletes. Now, in fact, the research led by an Australian team shows those who experienced such a concussion had better cognitive performance in some areas than those who never suffered one, pointing to the possible protective effects of participating in sports. The researchers conclude there may be physical, social, and behavioral effects of sports that improve cognitive outcomes later in life, outweighing the negative effects of concussions. Well, a new study from Chinese researchers finds a possible association between cardiovascular disease and mobile phone use, especially for smokers and those with the diabetes. The study involved hundreds of thousands of patients without a history of cardiovascular disease who reported on their phone use between 2006 and 2010. Researchers say that was before the use of modern smartphones, so the results need to be put in context. And coping well with adversity in older age is linked to a lower risk of death. Researchers found the association is stronger for women than men, and they found those studied with the highest mental resilience scores were more than 50% less likely to die in the next 10 years compared to those with the lowest scores. Well, as students head back to school, more and more districts are limiting cell phone use in classrooms, concerned about mental health and learning disruptions. Dania Bacchus looks at why some health experts say phones should be absent from schools altogether.
In classrooms across the country, cell phones seem as prevalent as book bags and pencils. But in states from Arizona,
it's become the heroin of our time,
to South Carolina,
it just has to be turned off and put away.
Educators and lawmakers are cracking down on the devices, restricting or even banning them in schools.
I had very difficult interactions with students who answered phones in the middle of class, who didn't want to put them away. You know, there are these TikTok and Instagram trends that become very, very disruptive.
Spending time on the phone scrolling during a classroom activity or a learning session, it really negates the children's ability to absorb that information or learn that information.
Dr. John Pasatini is a child psychologist and director at UCLA's Child Anxiety Resistance Education and Support Center. He says phones in schools can also harm mental health and stunt social development.
It really interferes with developing creativity, with developing social skills, the ability to get along with each other, to problem solve.
Recent studies show students in phone-free classrooms had higher levels of comprehension and lower levels of anxiety, but not everyone is convinced.
We've had phones since we were in 4th, 5th grade. It's a part of our life now. Not that it's an addiction or an obsession, it's just an aspect of our life that we've learned to live with.
Dr. Pasatini says parents can help students adjust to phone-free schools by putting their own devices away. He suggests parents, teachers, and students work together to create a healthy and supportive learning environment. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
California is the latest state to pass legislation requiring school districts to limit students' phone usage. If signed by the governor as expected, it will join Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio, and Virginia. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, aspiring artists in Carthage now have an after-school art class to show off their skills.
And we've got a beautiful yet chilly start to the day. Take a look at that sunrise this morning. It's going to be warmer today than it has been the last couple of days. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a business in southeast Kansas uses grant money to help put local farm food on the dinner table.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. We're halfway through the work week. And again, an apology to everybody at home. I have functioned on 3 hours of sleep just fine before. I don't know why my brain did not turn on this morning. It has not been a good morning. It has been a rough morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But well, I mean, I feel fine. It's just, boy, I cannot process today. But the good news is for you folks at home, I will be off the next couple of days. And so, you know, I'll have time to catch up on that sleep. And in the meantime, we're going to try and make it through the rest of this morning. And we're going to start outside. Oh, boy, with a live look from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Beautiful sunrise this morning. And it's a bit chilly. I mean, it is almost October-ish across the area. Another great view of that sunrise from our camera at 7th and Rangeline this morning. And as we take a look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline, of course, we don't control it. MoDOT does. It's pointed to the north. But you can still see some of those colors off on the far right side of your screen over there. So again, a great start to the day, but a bit cool. And even though this is one of our cooler starts to the day, this is going to be one of our warmer days this week, excluding Sunday. Sunday was unnecessarily hot, but we're going to go seasonably hot today. So it's going to feel warmer out there for sure, but it's not going to be above where we should be. We're looking at highs today into the upper 80s with that ample sunshine out there. Quick look at temperatures though. This is what I'm talking about. 60 in Joplin. It's not too bad. 55 in Pittsburgh right now. And look at some of these other temperatures out there. 51 in Stockton, 52 in Fort Scott. I mean, we're getting close to the 40-degree, or well, 49-degree mark. Regardless, we're falling into the 40s around Stockton, mid-upper 50s, and some low to mid-60s. So again, a very October-like start ahead of a very typical September day. So kids getting on the bus, upper 50s, some low 60s out there, sunny skies when that bus brings them back. But with all that sunshine, no clouds at all. We're going to be a little warmer. 86 when the bus brings them home, and that's ahead of highs again. Mid-upper 80s, sunny skies, east breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour out there. And we're going to be a little hotter tomorrow. We might even be a little above average for our Thursday. And then the roller coaster ride starts back up again. We'll go over those details, hopefully, in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, KDOT wants to remind drivers about some safety tips when sharing the road with semi-trucks. When passing, make sure you pass with care as these vehicles need more space to maneuver, and try to avoid a semi's blind spot as they are bigger as well. Well, MoDOT wants to warn some drivers in Joplin about some traffic delays this coming week. Today and tomorrow, Main Street and 34th Street can expect some delays due to lane reductions. Drivers should plan for alternative routes in between the hours of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both evenings while crews install a section of storm pipe. Well, Art Central Carthage kicks off a new after-school program for aspiring artists. The Art After-School program provides a once-a-week opportunity for young artists to develop diverse artistic interests, hone existing skills, and be a part of a team, all while exploring various art forms. For one educator, the class can also provide a great form of therapy.
To know that this is a safe place to go, that and anytime they want to come here, we're going to do art. We're going to do sometimes, art's therapy. It really, you don't have to be an artist. You could come in and just do art and paint. It doesn't matter if it's good or not.
The class will be offered every Tuesday after school, and the price per student is $10. Parents are encouraged to register their kids early as space is limited. Well, Fort Scott Commercial Kitchen received a grant to stock their kitchen with equipment that farmers can use to turn their produce into other products. This will bring more nutritious foods to the Bourbon County community. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
Equipment such as your charbroilers, your gas range, your ovens, your refrigerators.
The Kitchen Collective and Collaborative in Fort Scott was one of the recipients of a grant that will be put towards filling their commercial kitchen with necessities. Farmers will be able to rent their licensed commercial kitchen to create products out of their produce.
For example, take those tomatoes, come into our licensed facility, make tomato marinara sauce or salsa that has a longer shelf life.
Rachel French, a co-owner, says this will be especially helpful to the community because Bourbon County has a scarcity of locally grown foods.
Tiers, and so each kitchen has their own set of cookware, so you don't have to bring anything. Anytime you can get food that is grown in your area in season, it has so many different health benefits.
In our food here in America, it's packed full of preservatives, and we are hoping to sell more of like a stripped down homemade product.
This grant will allow the kitchen to provide the community with healthier food options. Bailey Lyons says as a mom, she likes knowing what's in the food that her kids are consuming. And this will make it easier for busy parents like herself to do so.
Could grab something out of the grab and go case that was homemade with local fresh ingredients rather than hitting the drive-through at a fast food restaurant.
Along with bringing more healthy food options to Bourbon County, this will benefit farmers by giving them access to the equipment they need to turn their produce into other products that they can sell. Reporting in Fort Scott, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, the kitchen is the first of its kind in Southeast Kansas and will officially open by the end of September. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Millions of DirecTV subscribers affected by the blackout can apply for $20 credit. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, in Atlanta, the union representing striking AT&T workers in Georgia and across the Southeast said negotiations with the telecommunications company have stalled. The union group withdrew from bargaining mediation and accuses the company of using the process as a delaying tactic. Sarah Hammond has the latest.
These AT&T workers have been on strike for nearly 3 weeks.
We want to talk about health care. We want to talk about benefits and wages, but until the right people are at the table, we can't discuss none of that stuff.
Now the union representing thousands of AT&T workers has walked away from the bargaining table. The Communication Workers of America say they are withdrawing from the mediation process after AT&T brought in a federal mediator. Ed Barlow, president of Communication Workers of America Local 3204, says having the mediator slowed down the whole process. The CWA called the strike August 16th and has accused the company of unfair labor practices, an allegation that AT&T has denied.
Here we are, on the third week. And could this thing go on longer? It could. Our members are prepared for that. Do they want to be out here? No, they rather be at work.
In a statement, union leaders said, quote, "Our message to AT&T is no more excuses. It's time to get serious about bargaining so we can get back to work serving our customers." In response to that announcement, AT&T said, quote, "Withdrawing from mediation seems inconsistent with the union's allegation of unfair labor practices. This also goes against their stated intention to bargain towards a mutually agreeable solution."
If AT&T got to get the CEO, John Stankin, here to negotiate this contract, John Stankin need to get on a plane and get here in Atlanta and get this deal done.
Millions of DirecTV subscribers affected by the blackout of Disney-owned stations can get a $20 credit. Customers can fill out a form on DirecTV's website to apply. And the company says the credit will show up on subscribers' accounts in up to 2 billing cycles. The blackout is due to a contract dispute between the two companies, and it affects ABC, Disney, and ESPN stations. Well, ahead of tomorrow's kickoff of the NFL's regular season, the American Gaming Association has released its first ever legal bet estimate. The group projects that the 2024 NFL season will rake in $35 billion in illegal wagers. Since last season, which brought in nearly $27 billion, even more states have launched legal betting markets, bringing the total to 38 states and Washington, D.C. And Southwest Rapid Rewards members have through tomorrow to take advantage of the airline's Companion Pass promotion, which allows flyers to select a person to fly with them for free when they purchase a qualifying one-way or round-trip flight. Members have to travel by November 20th in order to receive the pass, which can be used to bring a companion between January 6th and March 6th of next year. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. We're taking a look at that sunrise, looking great out there. We've got mostly clear skies, and if you look just off to the right, we do have some clouds that are off to the south and east in our area, but those will continue to push on out of here. Our camera 7th and range line also looking pretty good, and in fact, if you look very closely in the tree line, there are those clouds again out there. MoDOT camera, now it's pointed back to the north, so it sees no clouds. It just sees those clear skies, and that's what we'll all have as we head through the day today and into the overnight tonight. Future track showing nothing on there, so that's no clouds, no rain, nothing as we head through the morning into the afternoon and evening hours. We're going to be a little hotter today, but it will be seasonably so as we go into the upper 80s, but compared to the last couple of days, it's definitely going to feel warmer out there as we go into the afternoon and even into the evening hours across the area. Quick check of temperatures. Again, it is almost October-like out there. 60 in Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, Stockton's been the cold spot. Still there at 51 degrees, just a couple of degrees off of hitting the 40s this morning. Otherwise, we've got low, mid, upper 50s and some low to mid 60s as we get this day started. So again, a very fall-like day. September, fall does start this month, but not until a little later. And unfortunately, since we are still in summer, it's going to start to feel like that again here soon. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Kids getting on the bus, clear skies, upper 50s, low 60s this morning. And as that bus brings them back home, we are looking at sunny skies and right around 86 by this afternoon. Again, it's going to heat up as we head into the next day. Then it's going to cool back down. Then it's going to get really hot. Those details coming up in just a moment, as well as birthdays and anniversaries. Those are also up after this break. But first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you. I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, former big-time sports agent Molly Fletcher will be here in studio to talk about her new book. It's all about sustaining success with advice to unlock your full potential. She says we can all do that. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays. We're going to start in Oswego with Stella Smith, celebrating birthday number 5. It says, from your family, we love you.
And a happy 8th birthday to Joseph Pease. It says here, love Mom, Dad, Reba, Harvey, and Grandma.
And we've got Renee Green celebrating birthday number 9 today. Happy birthday, Renee.
And over in Girard, a happy 11th birthday to Radence Franklin. It says here, happy birthday from Dad and sisters. We love you.
And in Webb City, Chloe Gosvener celebrating birthday number 14. Happy birthday, Chloe.
Also celebrating their 14th birthday over in Pittsburgh is Isaiah Hasley. Happy birthday.
And in Frontenac, Delaney Lusker celebrating birthday number 16 with love from the whole family.
Also celebrating a sweet 16 over in Webb City is Elaney Langford. Happy birthday.
And in Frontenac, Avery Johnson celebrating birthday number 18. Happy birthday, Avery.
And back over in Webb City, a happy 41st birthday to Courtney Cook.
And in Iola, Jim Atkins celebrating birthday number 52. Says happy birthday for Mom, Randy, Ma, and Pa. We love you.
And happy 57th birthday to Melody Morgan over in Joplin.
Yeah, I'm 98% certain she was my 6th grade math teacher. 98% certain. All right, moving on. Cindy Stoll in Chanute celebrating birthday number 70. Happy birthday, Cindy.
And Also celebrating their anniversary is Jim and Brittany Atkins over in Iola. It says here from Mom, Pop, and Randy, we love you both. Looks like he's also celebrating a birthday and an anniversary today.
See, look, talk about a celebration. And we have our very own Debbie Haynes. She's a traffic assistant here at KOAM, one of the many people responsible for ensuring that the commercials go where they're supposed to go. And we greatly thank her for everything that she does. Of course, she does a whole lot more here at the station than just what's in her job title. So very happy birthday to you, Debbie.
Absolutely. And continuing our birthday list with Sandy Friend over in Galena, turning 64 today. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, Clay King celebrating another year wiser. Now that was a birthday and anniversary list. And we love those messages and photos too, and we'd like to keep that up. Elise, how can they help us do that?
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Like Chris said, we love to see those messages and photos, so be sure to submit those as well as meeting the deadline there at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely. Now, we are going to take a look outside with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Looking back toward that sunrise, looking pretty good out there this morning. Not a bad start to the day. It is almost Octoberish out there. Another view of that sunrise from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. As mentioned, in the southern portion of our area, we do have some clouds and they're visible here, but those will eventually clear out and we are looking at an absolutely gorgeous but warmer day out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, waiting at that red light. And sometimes, you know, when you're ready to get the work day started, because the sooner you get it started, the sooner it can get over, right? Maybe sometimes. Waiting at that red light, that 30-second window suddenly feels like 30 minutes, doesn't it? But otherwise, traffic is flowing, and that's always a good thing there. And traffic moving from the KDOT camera 69 in Kansas Crossing, just south of Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at the future track. Now, for today, there's really not much to see. No cloud cover, no rain chances. We do need rain. I want to emphasize how much we do need rain across the area, but we are not looking at any today. Now, even though this is one of the coolest starts we've had so far this week, this is also going to be probably about the second warmest day this week. Sunday got unnecessarily hot, going in the low 90s for many of us. Today, not that hot. We will be warmer though, but seasonably so as we go into the upper 80s today. Then we go into tonight, we're looking at clear skies. It won't be until early tomorrow morning. We'll start to see a few clouds out there. And through the day on Thursday, we have a slight chance of an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm. You can see most of us are expected to remain dry, but a couple of spotty showers will be possible. And then we'll go into Friday morning. We'll have another partly cloudy day out there, and then another brief window for an isolated pop-up shower storm as a system pushes through. This boundary rolls through, and that's going to shift our winds out of the north. And so Friday, we're going to be cooler than today and tomorrow, and we'll be even cooler heading into the upcoming weekend out there. So get ready for some chilly conditions. Speaking of chilly, nice bowl of chili this morning. Doesn't sound too bad because it is cold outside. 60. Okay, it's not cold, but for this time of year. 60 in Joplin. Winds are calm. Where it actually does seem relatively cold for early September is Stockton. Still at 51 degrees as the coldest location in our area. But some locations, Fort Scott, for example, Nevada, not far off from that, as we've got low, mid, and upper 50s across the northern tier of our area. And the further south you go, it's a wee bit warmer. So we have some low to mid 60s to start our day. And speaking of starting our day, again, we're looking at sunny skies. Last of the clouds will be on their way out of here. Cool to start, but with ample sunshine, no cloud cover, and a light east breeze, it will allow us to warm a little faster today. That's why we're going to be warmer today. We'll be into the upper 70s by about 11 o'clock this morning. We're having another look at your forecast, talking about this roller coaster ride, and I mean roller coaster ride that Mother Nature's putting us on with these temperatures. Don't make faces. Elisa's making faces now. I'm finally awake, and now she's making faces. We're going to talk about that in a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And when we make the switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how a group of New York barbers are coming together to give kids a free haircut ahead of the new school year.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Mercy has officially taken ownership of the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh. The change comes after a months-long transfer process after Mercy and Ascension entered into an agreement in February of this year. Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is the third Mercy hospital in Kansas. Well, Missouri American Water is working to replace lead pipes across Missouri. This comes as the EPA requires all U.S. water companies to inventory their local service lines. If the company finds lead or galvanized steel, they will replace the entire service line free of charge. Residents who believe they may have lead pipes are encouraged to reach out to Missouri American Water through their website. The Kitchen Collective and Collaborative in Fort Scott plans to buy equipment for their commercial kitchen thanks to a grant. Farmers will be able to rent their kitchen to create products out of their produce. The idea is to bring the community more healthy, locally grown food options. Let's check out today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Head out the door. It's a bit chilly, but you don't want to wear the jacket later. So when you're leaving this morning, you'll want it. When you leave, you want to just, make sure you take it home with you. Upper 80s today, so warmer, but seasonably warm. Sunny skies across the area. Clear skies will continue through the evening, down to the low 70s by 10, and they'll continue overnight back into the low to mid 60s. Here comes that roller coaster ride, though. So we go up near 90 tomorrow, isolated storms Thursday, Friday. Then we come back down Friday into the low to mid 80s, even lower through the weekend, upper 70s and low 80s, overnight lows back into the 50s. And then we'll heat back up as we head into next week. Showers possible Monday and Thursday, and temperatures getting unseasonably hot by the middle of next week and the end of next week, low to mid 90s. So enjoy the next few days and enjoy this weekend for sure. It's going to be beautiful.
For sure. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making onion strings in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Online blackmail scams are getting more and more sophisticated. Ahead on CBS Mornings, an online expert shares what to look out for so you don't become a victim of an internet crime.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll hear how climate change is affecting cocoa farms around the world.
Plus, Josh Novak from the Neosho Arts Council joins us in the studio to talk about some upcoming events they've got going on. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.